Stay in the event for chats. The event chat.
Oh, let me go over. Okay.
What's going on?
All right, so I'm on event now, so I can see.
We're live. Yes, you're perfect. Thank you. All right, everybody. This is a conversation that I'm so excited to share with all of you in all my blue screen glory, because Gwen and I have known each other a long time now, right? And what I have to say about Gwen Jimmere, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about her journey. We met the year that she won the pitch competition at the Black Enterprise Entrepreneurs event, right?
Yeah,
and that was right. That was the year we met. So we met in 2014. And so Naturalicious, which she's going to tell you about, was just getting started. And I had just started my natural journey again after my big chop. And when I moved to South Florida 5 years ago, and if any of you live in a humid environment and you've moved from up north or mid-Atlantic or a cooler environment, your hair does all kinds of things that you're not prepared for. And Gwen had me send her pictures of my hair. I still have those pictures, Gwen, of me sending her my curl pattern, sending her what I was using, and her telling me what was in there. And so I want you to know that this is about community coming together in so many ways, that you make connections. The connections you make today can be in your life going forward and boosting your business and helping one another through all kinds of COVID-19s and beyond, right? So Gwen Jimmere is an amazing entrepreneur. I'm going to let her tell you about her story, but just know that one of the things that I really felt was so important about bringing Gwen today is because while you've gotten a lot of meaty information for your businesses to grow, I wanted you to hear from someone whose business has grown, right, in this time. And Gwen had a really great post about making over $50,000 in a week with her business in this pandemic. And that is due to some things that she's going to share with us. So Gwen Jimmere, Naturalicious founder, hair care mogul, and the first woman to own a patent for hair care products. Be clear. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really thrilled and excited to talk to your community, and thank you for allowing me to share some of my my insights with them. I'm just really happy to be here to serve.
Thank you. So can you just tell us a little bit about your journey and launching Naturalicious, the year you launched it, and then, you know, where you can be found and why that may have played a part in your success today?
Yeah, so there's a very long story as to how I started Naturalicious and all of that. And we can get into that if you guys would like. I don't know how much time I have, but I will tell you that the year I started Naturalicious, it was 2013. I had created Naturalicious, which is my hair care line. I had created it for myself. It wasn't even designed to be a business. It was supposed to be just for me to figure out what to use on my hair. I had just gone natural at that point, and I was a new mom. Fast forward about 18 months after I figured out the system for myself, I found myself going through a really bad divorce. I was leaving my abusive husband. My son at the time was 1.5 years old, and I got laid off from my job 30 days before my divorce was final. So that left me with about $32 in the bank. Actually, a little less than 32, but we're going to round up and say 32. And it was just a really bad time to be single with a child, no money. My whole family lives out of state. I had a mortgage. I had bills. I had all the same bills that I had, but not the same money. And I decided that the day I got laid off from my job, I was going to have to find a way to provide for my son that day. I didn't have the opportunity or the luxury of, you know, going out and applying for another job and doing the whole, you know, rat race thing with the headhunters. I didn't have time for that. I needed to make money that day. And the only thing that I had that was honestly legal and moral at the time was the hair care hobby I had created for myself. And so the day I got laid off, which was March 4th of 2013, that was the same day that Naturalicious became an actual business. And so I started that with $32. Now, by the time I met you, it was 2014 by that point, and I was looking to raise money, but I didn't know the first thing about, equity and investors and all that kind of stuff. So I knew that there was a competition where I could enter to win $10,000, which at the time was a whole lot of money for my business, for my baby business at that point. And I entered that competition. It was a pitch competition at the Black Enterprise Entrepreneur Summit, and I won the $10,000, which was a huge thing for me. Not only was it great for funding for the business, but it was also really great just for my morale, because I just kept getting shot down. And that really let me know, like, okay, someone sees viability in this business. And so I remember at that time, I was just excited to be able, like, I remember praying, like, God, if you could just let me get one sale a day, I would be so happy. That means I had 30 sales a month. And that seemed like a lot. And so, fast forward to today, we're in over 1,200 retail stores. We're in Ulta, we're in Sally Beauty, we're in Whole Foods. As you saw in the post that I made, we pretty regularly, we do, 50K a week. That's not uncommon at this point. And I'm just really grateful and blessed that we have come so far in the 7 years that we've been in business.
So one of the things that I've been quoting you on, when this first started, I saw you give another presentation where you said early on, everybody ain't broke, y'all. Why are we acting like everyone is contracting? We can sell wholeheartedly. So can you talk about maybe a mindset shift, or how we can get our own way and say, oh, well, people won't buy that, or people are constricted right now? How do we get out of our own way and ask for the sale?
Yeah, well, I think one of the biggest things and the best opportunity that anybody has right now is to build a tribe. The great thing about Naturalicious is that we have a tribe of customers that are ride or die loyal. They will fight you if you talk bad about Naturalicious. Like, it's a real thing. They walk around with Naturalicious cups and t-shirts, like it's a whole thing, like it's Nike or something, And so the best thing is to build a tribe. So people are home right now. People are much more they're much more focused, right? They're less distracted because they're home. And so even if they are still working, like a lot of people are still working, even though a lot of people are unemployed. A lot of people are also still working, but they're home. And so they're able to be more focused. So right now, if you haven't built a tribe of customers, start building that tribe. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to create a private Facebook group. Create it to be private because it makes it insulated. So people feel comfortable and more safe sharing things that they wouldn't share publicly. And then in that group, go live. I know it may be hard, it may be difficult, it may seem like, oh my God, what am I supposed to talk about? But I'm telling you, if you just show up in times when things get really tough, that tribe will support you. A really great example of that is that during this COVID-19 crisis, we decided that we were going to try to support first responders. And so we sent out a call and we said, hey, we want to support first responders in our community. And if you're a first responder, add your name to this list. Well, the list got full. Like, we had like over several hundred names in like 2 hours. So we had to cut the list off. Because we're a small business, we ain't the government, we can only support so many people. And so we had to cut the list off. But people were emailing us and they were clearly not first responders. Like, they were emailing us and like, well, I work for the post office. Do I count? Your job is valid. Your job is important. You are essential, but you're not a first responder. So unfortunately, you don't qualify for this, right? And you would not believe the people that were emailing us and all kind of bad stuff. They were calling our customer service people all out their names. It was outrageous. But because I have a tribe, I could be very candid with them. It's not like this faceless, nameless company and then all of a sudden the CEO shows up and starts telling you about yourself, right? So I show up and I'm like, listen, y'all, it's not everybody, it's not even the majority of people, but the few have ruined it for the bunch. We are cutting this thing off, and I am shocked, appalled, and disappointed in the behavior that some of y'all have. This is outrageous. And the tribe came to our defense and they were just like, I can't believe that people would have a problem with this and da-da-da. But that's because we have a tribe. And we built that tribe and nurtured that tribe over years, Right. And so if you don't have a tribe right now, the best thing you can do at this time is create your tribe. And that is why Naturalicious is doing so well in amongst this crazy crisis. Because let's face it, Black women are very intentional and deliberate about what they use on their hair. Just because times may be hard, they ain't about to go buy no $2 shampoo. They may have to cut something else off, but they're gonna make sure that their hair is still right, you know. And so, you know, we have that tribe, and we've nurtured them, and we've also served them over time for years. And so they know that we've been there for them, and so now they're here for us. And so they're still buying our stuff. And some of them are even buying more because they want to make sure that we're, you know, we can continue to support them like they supported us. So that would be like my super quick tip. Go start a tribe right now.
Go start a tribe. And are there other ways of, Natasha asked, aside from a Facebook group? And actually, y'all, we're going to talk about the Unchamber at the end. So that'll be another option for you as well. Have you found that there are other ways to build your tribe? Did you go to live events? And the reason I'm saying that is because Stephanie Corridon, she's one of our expo vendors, which she said her aromatherapy soap line needs you, Gwen. And she is actually one of our vendors here. She's vended at every event we've had here at her power space. And she does incredible because she keeps coming back. So she's doing something right. But did you build tribe face-to-face in addition to online platforms?
Absolutely. So online Facebook was probably like the first place that I started. But I show up as much as possible without trying to burn myself out, right? You can't show up so much that your entire business becomes reliant upon you. So it has to be a fine line, a happy balance between the two. Sure. But I, you know, in the early years, I did show up at events. And my kind of trick was to go to places. I always say I try to go where the fishermen aren't. So I'm in the haircare business. It's a super saturated business. Everybody and their mama got a haircare business. Somebody right now is creating a haircare line. They about to put it on Instagram, right? And so,
you make a $50K a week.
And so I would try to go to cities that didn't get a lot of love, but still had a lot of people. So I remember, you know, Wichita, Kansas, they had this amazing natural hair care, you know, expo. And the thing with the smaller places was that because they didn't get a lot of love from the big brands, they will often be willing to like cover your travel, or they may be willing to not charge you the fee, where they may charge other people because they're just happy somebody came to see them, right? So Wichita, Kansas City, Missouri. I remember we went to somewhere in California that didn't nobody go at the time, and we would just go to all these different places. And when I went to the bigger cities, it was like pulling teeth. It was so hard because it was so many other companies. And when you're a very small company, you can't compete against somebody next to you giving out free full-size products. You know, when you got like L'Oreal over here, you know, giving out a whole set of products for free just to get brand awareness, and you like, this costs $10, you know, nobody trying to hear you, you know. Right. So for me, that was one of my tricks. I would go to live events. We don't do as many live events now, but we used to, and we're actually starting to. This summer, we were actually supposed to start ramping it up, but you know, COVID-19. But yeah, so I definitely love live events. It allows you to get into the person's face. It also helps you be seen as the expert. If you can be a speaker at these live events, even better. One thing that I will not do, I will not do an event if I'm not speaking, because it's so hard. Think about when you're speaking at an event, like think about anybody who's speaking at an event. Everyone's attention is on that person. Right. So when you go to a normal event, you're like hoping people come over to your table. You're trying to get people's attention, and they're like, what kind of deal you got? You know, that's all I care about. What's the sale? Tell me about the sale. Well, we need money as entrepreneurs. We got to survive, right? So you got to cover your costs, your time for being there. If someone's helping you, you may have to pay them. You got to cover the cost of your booth. If you had to transport product, you got to cover all that. So you are not in the business of losing money or breaking even. You need to make money, right? But when you're on the stage, all attention is on you. You get to talk to the whole room at one time. And now once you get off that stage, now everybody's at your table because now you're the expert. Right. And so everybody feels like you know what you're talking about. So Stephanie, if you have an aromatherapy soap line and you get up there on that stage and you start talking about, you know, I don't know if you talk about Ayurvedic principles and things like that, but whatever it is that you have an expertise in when it comes to your aromatherapy soap line, you give a whole presentation on that. And everybody's at your table. You ain't got to even do no work. You're going to sell out, girl, because you are really the expert. And so when you're doing expos, it's just, you really have to be strategic about what is now. Michelle, I'm confident Michelle puts on an amazing, fantastic, wonderful event. And so her events may not be as crazy and like not organized like some of these other places, but you have to show up and make sure that you are getting your money, because ain't nobody got time to be standing there for 7 hours to make $200. You know, you gotta make the money. So.
Oh, quick question then. I'm going to actually broaden Stephanie's question, because she asked, how did you get into stores? But can you talk about building your online community and having purchases online? So now even when stores may not be open or they're not getting shipments, you're still covering your butt. Can you talk about that as well?
Yeah. So we're in a lot of different retail stores right now. And I teach a whole class on how to get into retail. But one thing I always tell people is that retail should never be your bread and butter. You need to take care of home. So home is your website. Home is when you go do events. Home is your stuff, because you make the majority of your margin when you are selling directly to the consumer, right? So really, you should be using retail as discovery. So honestly, we're in Ulta. We have a lot of Latinas who buy us at Ulta that we would have never reached on our own, because our main target is the African-American customer, right? So we have the Latina market who is buying our regrowth oil, and we see them posting on Instagram. We're like, what are you buying that? Because I ain't seen that name on our, but so for discovery purposes, retail is fantastic. And so ideally, you can get them to buy in the stores, and then hopefully in some sort of way, either through, maybe there's an insert in the box that they bought at the store, something, you redirect them to your website. But again, retail should be used for discovery. It sounds really good when people say, oh, I'm in all these stores, I'm in Walmart, I'm in Target, da, 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 da. But what their margins looking like? That's what I want to know, because the stores cut you 50% out the gate right away. That doesn't even take into account any promotions that you do with that store. So think about this. When you go to a retail store and that retail store has like buy one, get one half off, right? The brand is taking the hit on that. The store is not taking the hit on that. So if we do a buy one, get one promo with Sally Beauty, when Sally goes to pay us for the products that they bought us, they're taking off that promo price. So instead of getting our full margin that we should get from them, we're actually going to get less. So you have to take all that into account before you even consider getting into retail. So don't go into a retail store just for vanity purposes. If it's your dream retailer, I don't care. Run them numbers and make sure that it makes sense for you, and that your gross margin is going to make sense for you to continue to stay in your business. Now, I do think that in times like this, because stores are closed, we have more customers coming to us, which is great. And that has to do, like you said, Michelle, with building that tribe. But if we didn't have that tribe, it would be really, really difficult, because some of those customers would not know where to go. I will say that the stores actually want us to push people to them to buy online.
Of course.
And it's like,
of course,
ma'am.
Of course.
No.
Right.
Because they're like,
that's cannibalization. You're cannibalizing your own sales at that point.
Because everybody does what's best for them, right? And so you have to keep that in mind. Right. So they may say, well, when they come, we actually had one, I'm not gonna say which one, but one was like, when they come to your website, just have a banner on the website that says, go buy this at, their store. And I'm like, well, I have employees to pay. I have rent at my office to pay. I can't send all my customers to you. You got to figure that out on your own.
Right. Well, and what I like about this is you're setting yourself up from a position of power, right? And were you able to do that because you could say, I have 50,000 likes on my page and I have this amount of people who are buying every month. So did that position you in a better position when you went to look at stores, or when stores came to you? Was it very important still, again, to have that trust?
Well, for stores, they like to see what your social media following is. But we all know that social media following does not mean dollars at all, right? We've seen people who have, 200,000 followers who are broke, so stores, when it comes to them approaching you, they like to see that you have a lot of followers, because it makes them feel like, oh, somebody knows them. At least they have brand awareness. But as the entrepreneur, that doesn't really mean anything. And so for me, my position of power comes from the fact that I know that what I own and what I have control over, which is my website, is good regardless of them, right? Like I'm not it's like being in a relationship. Like I'm with you because I want to be with you, not because I got to be with you. You know,
Right.
and it's kind of like that.
Right.
So
Right. Absolutely.
I think that and it's not that, like, I love my retailers. Like, they're great. Whole Foods was our very first retailer. They gave us a chance, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I make sure that home is taken care of first. And so I do promotions with the retailers and all of that, but I make sure that we're good beyond it. I make sure that our split doesn't stay where it's like 60% them and 40% us.
Exactly. And so two important points. One is a point, one is a question. Stacy said, if you had all your sales on someone else's site and they have returns and things like that, that's a disaster for reselling as well and returning unsold products to you. So the small business owner suffers there. And then Natasha said, can you talk about the mindset shift to sell, to make over 50K in sales during the pandemic? What was that shift for you? And I would actually take it back further to when the first time you had a 50K week. Like, I'm sure you're always moving the goalposts. So now what's your next goal as well? What was that mindset shift when you started seeing more zeros? Stacy Hyland just did an add zero to your business.
Workshop. I'm going to say that for me during the pandemic, I had to stop looking at what everybody else in their business was doing. So one of the first things I think like the news came out with was like, oh my gosh, people are, you know, X percentage of unemployment is the highest unemployment is record highs of unemployment, da, da, da. And when you hear just constant things like that, you're like, oh my gosh, nobody has a job. I feel bad about selling, right? I feel like a jerk because I'm telling people to buy my stuff when my stuff is not essential. And so my mindset shift was like, okay, if I don't know what the unemployment rate is, but let's say it's 15%. I don't know, right? Let's say it's 15% unemployment. Well, 85% of people are still working, right? So it's like glass half full or glass half empty. And so I chose to look at the glass half full. Like 85% of people are still working. And so even if they're working from home. And so, and the other thing too is that we've seen a lot of people talk about being on unemployment, but we've also seen people say they've been on unemployment, but they're actually making more on unemployment than they were when they were employed. So again, even though the unemployment rate is high, everybody ain't broke, right? And so it's like just remembering that when it comes to media, we are fed the story that they want us to be told, right? I was a communications major in college, and there was this one theory that they taught us, and it was the media does not tell us what to think, but it tells us what to think about, right? And so if you're constantly being fed what to think about, which is, oh my gosh, the unemployment rate is bad and people are suffering and da, da, da. That's all you're thinking about. You're not thinking about the fact that, but 85% of people are actually still working. And some people who are unemployment are making more than they were when they were working, that, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it was just one, being being amongst people who are winners. Like you have to surround yourself with people who are doing the same thing or something similar, and they are looking to win as well. So everybody that I'm, you know, associated with in business, we are all feeding off of each other. Like if we see somebody having like a really great month, we're like, well, I need to step my game up because they doing really good. There's no reason why I shouldn't too. And so you're a product of your environment.
It's a friendly competition.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron. Yeah.
You're a product of your environment. And so that's the one thing, like be around people who are winning or at least trying to win. And those who are not like the Debbie Downers. The next thing is that just always try to look at the glass half full. Like here's a story that we're being fed, but what's the other side of that? And then just completely get out of the mindset that you are wrong for selling, period. Because people still need your stuff. If you're out of business, let's say once this pandemic is over and you have a tribe of customers who love you, if you're out of business, they can't buy from you anymore. And that actually makes them really sad because they want to buy from you. They want to support you.
And that's what Jessica just said. Thank you, Jessica. She's here to support Michelle. Like they're trying to keep my lights on, you know? And that was a conversation we had early on when Natasha and I started putting this together was, you know, she's like, how, Michelle, you got to get this for free. I'm like, we got to play for the platform. What are you talking about? Right? And so you have to see what you give as an exchange of value for money. It's just energy, right? You're still putting value out. People need and they attach what's important to them, but it's not up to us to make a decision for them of what we don't sell. Let them decide what they buy.
Michelle, don't get me started on what girl, people will be like, that costs too much. Why your shampoo cost $20? And I'm like, child, you somehow had $500 to spend on Beyonce when she was in town, and it wasn't too expensive for you. Okay, so people find money to spend on things that they find value in, and that's all it is. Nothing is too expensive. It's just, do you find value in it? That's it, right?
And then how do you tell the story? How do you tell the story as the person selling to make sure that they see your value? Yeah. So how do you share? That could be the last question. Do you guys have any questions in the chat? Because I know Gwen actually has to go. She's been amazing to come and talk to us during this time because she's super busy. And I just appreciate you pouring into our community. Yeah. But that you know, that can be one of our last questions is sort of, you know, how do you tell the story of why this is important either to you or it should be to them?
Yeah, I think you don't necessarily tell the story. I think you let your customers tell the story. Mm-hmm. And so, because in marketing, we all know that people do business with people that they like, know, and trust, right? And so, as the brand, if I tell any one of y'all who are watching, you know what, Naturalicious is the best hair care product in the world, it will change your life, you're gonna be like, of course she's supposed to say that. She's trying to sell this stuff to me, right? You know me, you know. Of course I'm gonna say that, right? Even though it might be true, right? But if you trust Michelle because you've been in her community and she tells you, y'all, I'm telling you, I've used this stuff, it changed my life, my hair is growing, my curls are popping, you're much more likely to believe her. Or think about someone who is your neighbor or your friend or your family member. If they give you a recommendation, you're more likely to believe them than anything a brand could ever say. So word of mouth is absolutely the best form of advertising. But then beyond that, we have experts. So if Dr. Oz says Garcinia Cambogia will help you lose 20 pounds in 5 hours, it could be a total lie. Everybody, Garcinia Cambogia is sold out around the country, right? Immediately, because Dr. Oz said it, because he's an expert and people trust him. And then also people that they admire. So Oprah says that this book is thebomb.com. You can't get the book nowhere because it's sold out, because people admire Oprah, right? And so, again, we know that people do business with the people that they like, people that they trust, and people that they know. So if you aren't already at a point where you have a tribe and you become one or all three of those people, but that's how you become those three people, is by showing up regularly, right? Because my tribe, they know me. I show up all the time. That's why when they start tripping, I can be like, listen, y'all out of pocket, you know? And so they don't trip on me because they know I show up on a consistent basis. So they know me, they trust me because I show up as an expert. I'm always talking about hair. I'm always providing free content to them consistently before I ever sell them anything. I'm always providing free content on hair care. And then they like me because I relate to them. Like how I talk to y'all, this is how I talk to them. Like I'm just
me. I was gonna say, how do we not like
you? Yeah, I'm just me. You know, I'm just gonna be who I am. And so, and like authenticity. And so if you haven't got to that point, because it takes time to build that with the consumer base, right? But if you can get your customers to do that, so can you get them on video? Can you get them using your product on video and talking about it? Can you run a contest? Here's something that we did. We ran a contest and we said, tell us what you loved or how your life was, not just your hair, your whole life before you came across Naturalicious, and what it is now that you're using Naturalicious. And the reason that we say how your life is, not your hair, is because we're always talking about how we care beyond the hair. Like it's not just about hair, it's about your whole entire being, how you show up every day, you know, and we're helping you to show up differently as your best self. And so we had people comment and create videos, and the videos were not just about hair. They're like, yes, my curls are good, but this community that I'm in is nothing like it. There was one woman we had, she was going through an abusive relationship, and she was giving us, in our private group, because it's insulated and it feels safe, she was giving us the play-by-play of what was happening with her. And everybody just came to her aid, and we were like, you know what? We're going to raise money to get her out of this situation. And the group collectively raised $5,000 for her. We sent it to her, and she got out of that. That was like a year ago. She got out of that. She's living in like Arizona. Her old relationship is in California and she's out, her kids are safe and everything. But those are kind of stories that we get to tell. And so she can share that. So she can talk about how our community, how our brand, not just our products, right? Our brand is life-changing for her beyond just me talking about, oh yeah, Naturalicious is great. You know what I mean? So all of you guys, I'm sure everyone here has some customers. You may have a lot, you may have a little, but you got some. Have them make videos, have them talk about your brand, and then run those videos, run them on social media, run them on as advertising, run them everywhere that you can, because, and don't, influencers are great, but if you can make them look like real people, not people who are like, they got the perfect lighting and they got like the perfect makeup on, their hair is awesome, you know, because, you know, people know, like, this is somebody who paid, you know, right. Make it someone right. who feels and looks authentic so that the person who's watching it can relate to them. And I would say that that is probably the best way and easiest and fastest and probably even cheapest way to do it. And I know we got to go, but I got to tell your people this. You guys, shoot, I forgot what I thought. Yes, if you do that, that will help people feel like, I forgot what I was gonna say. I forgot. It'll come back to me. But that was basically my thought, is have your consumers make the videos for, I know what I was gonna say. They will want to do it. You don't have to incentivize them. You won't have to give them any extra free product because they want to see you win. If you don't exist, they love you so much that they want you to succeed. So if they can help you succeed, they're all in right out the gate.
Absolutely. So in our final moments together, I'm just checking the chat. I see, are you selling hand sanitizer now?
We are selling hand sanitizer.
I love it.
Yes.
We need to get some here in her power space because we're about to open back up.
Yeah,
all right. So
around the website. Let me know what you need.
How can people find you and buy from you from their homes or otherwise? We want to buy directly from Gwen, though. We don't want to go to Whole Foods and other stores that shall remain nameless.
Yes, you can go to naturalicious.net to get our products on our website. And I just posted it. That's the website. Thank you, Michelle, for posting that as well. But yes, naturalicious.net is our website. Like you said, we do have hand sanitizer. And actually, everything that we create is because the customers tell us that they want it. We don't create anything that just because, you know, it's another one of many. I think there's power in staying in your lane and really having a really close relationship with your consumers. And so what they tell us that they want is what we create. And so they were like, we need hand sanitizer. We can't get it nowhere. We can naturally create it. And so we did. And I think for everyone listening, that's a very smart move to do as well.
To be tuned in. So one last final parting word for people who may not have customers yet, they are connecting with. They have customers, but they're not connecting. So I'm talking about people with mailing lists that are maybe a little dormant and who don't have a group. Can you give them a word of advice on how to kind of rally those troops again?
Okay, there's a really great book by Gary V, who I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's online all the time cussing and acting a fool, but he's a great businessman. And he has a book. It's an older book. It's called Jab, Punch.
Jab.
Is that Jab, Punch? And so a jab.
Jab,
yes, there you go. Jab, punch, right hook. And so a jab is when you're basically providing some information. When you're providing information to them just like for free. Like I was saying, I show up all the time as just me. And I'm like, hey, you guys, let's talk today about why your hair is dry. And the thing is, I'm not selling anything when I talk about that stuff. The thing that my customers know, and they will tell other people this all the time. When I show up and I say, listen, I do a weekly show. It's called Real Hair Revelations. And I'm talking about hair in general. And I say, when I start, like, my name is Gwen Jimmere. I'm the owner of Naturalicious. I own Naturalicious, and I absolutely want you to buy my stuff because I have a child, and I have a mortgage, and I have employees to pay. However, if you never buy anything that I sell, this information is going to be relevant to you regardless. So you can stay. You don't have to leave if you don't buy anything, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't want you to buy my stuff. So I'm very honest. Like, yes, I want you to buy my stuff. I'm not going to try to sneak around it. I'm going to let you know I want you to buy it. But if you don't, that's okay. I'm still here for you, you know? And so I say that right out the gate, and that breaks the barrier. Because everybody when they see like a brand, they have a fence up. It's a defense. They're like, what you trying to tell me?
She's getting ready to sell
they
me
just waiting on
something.
the sale, you know.
Right.
So I say it right out the gate, like let's bring the barriers down because I'm here to help you. So that's a jab, right? When I show up every week and I say, here's why your hair is dry. Here's what you need. You need a moisturizer. If you want, and someone asks, well, what can I buy? I'm gonna say, oh, well, since you asked, you can use Naturalicious. But if they don't ask, it's all good. You know, I still give the information. So that's a jab. And then a punch is like a soft sell. And then a right hook is like, buy my stuff right now. And so what you want to do is you want to jab them more than you punch and right hook them. And so if you're constantly providing value to your audience. So if you don't have customers yet, the smartest thing that you can do is jab them as much as possible, right? Because you want to become that expert. You want to become that go-to person that they trust, because they're going to buy from you if they trust you, right? You want to become that go-to expert that they like, they know, and they trust. So start jabbing them with information that's relevant and relevant to your brand, but you're not necessarily selling anything. So another good example, especially in this COVID-19 crisis, is email them with tips on what they can do during COVID-19 without selling your stuff. So we sent an email out a couple weeks ago and it was like, hey, I know everybody's hurting. I know, a lot of people don't have jobs. Times are hard. But you can't, what you're going to be really disappointed. Now, mind you, I sell hair products. Hair products are not essential to life, right? So how can I insert myself into the COVID-19 conversation, right? So everybody's hurting. Everybody's having a tough time, regardless of where you stand during COVID-19, right? But what you don't want to do is neglect your hair, because if you come out of coronavirus, all the work that you've done for your hair is going to be starting all over from scratch. So here's three.
You can be right every day.
Here's 3 tips that I'm going to give you to help you. Just because we're going through a crisis. This was the headline. Just because we're in a crisis doesn't mean your hair has to be. That was the line. Okay, that was.
Natasha said facts.
I was to get them to open up, right? And so I gave them 3 tips. Didn't sell a thing, right? What you will be surprised at, especially if you have an email service that is really a true CRM, a customer relationship management service, is that you will see those jabs actually convert into sales, because people are the barrier isn't up. Now, they may not convert into sales right away, but they will convert into sales. So that email where I didn't sell a thing, all I said was, 1, make sure that you're sleeping on a satin pillowcase. 2, make sure you're moisturizing every single day. And I forgot what the third one was, but I sent that email out. That email made like $7,000 and I didn't sell a thing. You know what I mean? But I provided value to them. So that would be my tip. Also, y'all not emailing enough. People are so scared to email. I'm telling you, we email every day. Every single day. We send an email every day. We send an email. Now, we don't send an email to everybody every day, but we send an email.
Oh, okay. You segment
our list every day. Email is our number 1 revenue generator.
So I just got to do a plug real quick. Did y'all catch Karam and Tanya's 2-part workshop on emails and conversions today? It happened. So watch the replay if you missed it. I had to put that in there because it's key.
I email every day, and we also text at least 3 times a week.
SMS is big. Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely. April said she bought her hand sanitizer from you 3 weeks ago. It's coming next week. She is super excited. Yes. So do we have and Jessica said, who said hair care is not essential? She's like, if you run out, I got problems. Anybody else have any final questions? This is awesome. Natasha, how do you segment your hair care? How do you put the list?
No, how do you segment the hair care audience?
How do you segment a hair care audience?
So on our website, we have a quiz. And the quiz is the simple 3-question quiz. And the quiz is, how do I find, what's my hair type? That's a common question that we get all the time, because we have different hair types that we serve. And so people always want to know, what's my hair type? What kind of products do I need for my hair? And so you take the quiz. It takes you like less than a minute to take the quiz. And once you take the quiz, it gives you an answer. It tells you all this information, tons of value, right? Always providing value, tells you all this value. And at the end, it suggests our products that will be good for you. Again, jab and then punch, right? So we're jabbing in the beginning and then we punch you at the bottom. So, and it gives you Tanya says she just took it. See? So whatever answer that you get, because we use a CRM, it now segments you in our CRM. So Tanya, if you took that quiz and you got tight curls and coils, now you're on our tight curls and coils list. And so if you got that answer and you got loose curls and waves, then you will be on the loose curls and waves list, right? And so now we have you segmented like that. But that's just one way that we segment. So we can segment by hair type. So when we're sending out video of certain products, we're going to send the tight curls and coils videos to those relevant people and vice versa. But another way that we segment too is by relevancy and recency and frequency and amount that people purchase. So we have people who we consider our cash cows. These are the people who purchase all the time. They purchase like every 30 days. When they purchase a lot at one time, and they purchase very recently, right? So those are like those are like your dream customers. They're always purchasing, they're always spending a lot of money, and they purchase relatively frequently, or they have purchased recently. But then we have people who have lapsed, and we segment by them too. And so, we may have a sale that not everybody gets. Y'all don't, if y'all on a customer list, like, don't be mad, right. But not everybody gets all the sales, right?
Some people, because you are treating your clients in a way that incorporates good behavior, and you're also giving a prize to good behavior, right? So you want them to continue doing certain behaviors, you don't want right?
To always wait for the sale. So, if you're a great customer, you're always purchasing from us, we're going to give you different incentives and perks that we may give someone who hasn't purchased since like last year. We have another list where it's like, people who have purchased before but haven't purchased in 90 days. So we're going to send them, because we know they require a certain type of incentive in order to purchase. And so that's also how you can segment your list. So if you have a CRM, we use Klaviyo. I love it. There's also, what's the other one? I forgot what it's called, but I don't like it. I can't think of the name of it. That's why I don't know the name of it.
That's why you don't remember.
A lot of people start with MailChimp. MailChimp is cool to start out with, but eventually you're going to want to, if you are really selling like a lot of stuff, you're probably going to want to get like a CRM where you can truly segment people out and exclude people from certain things and all that kind of stuff. So I love Klaviyo. It works well for me. Klaviyo is spelled Klaviyo, Jessica. And I love it. And so that helps us segment our customers. But just think outside the box. Like, it doesn't always have to be just about your hair care.
That's the key. And so, number one, you made some sales today, clearly, because they were all up on your website, all in your business. And we appreciate you volunteering your time to us to share so much. And we really appreciate you taking this time out during this time. And we wish you so much more success. And you got friends for life all up and down. I'm looking at this chat.
Thank you guys. It's been so fun talking to you. I hope this has been helpful. Definitely go to naturalicious.net. If you have any questions, I don't know if I can say this. Can I say this? Can I say this? She's like, I don't know what to say.
It depends. You already told me to do Facebook groups, and I got a problem with that, but we'll talk about that later.
You know what the Facebook group is called, though.
No. It's not about the group. It's about Facebook. But go ahead. No, say what you're going to say. Say it, because now they want to
go to my website, my personal website, which is gwenjimmere.com as well.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted folks to go to your personal site. That's why I didn't drop it. Okay.
gwenjimmere.com as well, if you would like to. And Stacey just mentioned my podcast. So I do have a podcast called The Get Money Show. So The Get Money Show is all about getting money for your business. We have millionaires. We've had some billionaires on there and up and coming change makers on the show who are dropping their gems and their knowledge on how you can grow your business.
I love it. Thank you so much, Gwen. We really appreciate you. And just you were dropping all the links and putting all the information in the chat. And we look forward to you hitting the next mark. What's your next goal? So you do 50K weeks regularly. What's the next goal for you? What's the next, whatever that is, whatever that looks like economically? We're talking about money today, y'all. What does that look like economically? What's your next goal?
My next goal is really to hit 10 million a year. That's really my goal. I'm like grinding to get there. I don't have investors in my company. I feel very proud of that, that I've been able to do it on my own. It's not to say I won't ever have an investor, but I feel proud that I've been able to grow it from $32 to, over a couple $1 million a year at this point. And I would like to see if I can get that to 10 million, in the same way. If not, 10 million is 10 million, but I would like to be
right. You're taking an outside
absolutely.
investment.
But
right.
I would like for it to get there. One, because when I got divorced, my ex-husband told me I wasn't gonna make it without him, and I was gonna have to move back home with my mom. But he moved home with his mom, and I still live in the house. So.
Yeah. And it's gorgeous too, because we watched you going, doing all the redecorating and painting the walls and stuff. I love it. So happy for you. So happy. So we'll have to have you come back when you hit that 10 mil.
Yes. We're gonna claim it next year.
Yeah.
But thank you all for having me. Thank you, Michelle, for this great summit that you've put on. You are an angel for serving in this way, and this is a phenomenal summit. So thank you again for having me. And whenever you need me, just let me know. I think I either froze or Michelle froze. Okay. So, Michelle, if you're talking, I can't hear you because you're frozen on my screen. But, Michelle did freeze. Okay. Okay, so it's not just me, y'all. Okay. Because my Wi-Fi be tripping a little bit sometimes. I'm sure she'll come back. But I don't want to just leave without properly signing off. So I'm going to wait for her to come back. But thank you guys so much for having me. This has been so fun. Michelle's logging back on. Fantastic. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Shaniqua. I appreciate that. I had fun talking to y'all. What color is the brand of your lip gloss? It's right here. This is NYX, NYX. And this is called Apple Strudel. I love this color. I don't think they make it anymore. So I went on Amazon and I bought a ton because I think they stopped making it. I can't find it. They used to have it at Ulta and Target, and I can't find this color anywhere else. But it's called Apple Strudel, and I love it. So try to find it online because it's a great color. Thank you, Vanessa. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I know, Jessica, but try to find it online. They charged me out the behind for shipping on this because they know it's being discontinued. But right, she's back.
I'm back. I'm on Tasha's. We did a quick change, real quick.
New clothes and everything.
Y'all are getting the full view of her power space. Okay, so thank you so much. When we could hear you, but I froze. It just literally froze.
So I didn't want to leave without properly signing off. So.
And I appreciate you doing that. My screen froze, but we are back, and you shared so much value, and we're looking forward to watching other people actually implement a lot of the nuggets you dropped today. That's really important. Thank you.
Yes, Gabrielle, I do know April very well. I am in her group. All right, thanks for having me, Michelle. I will let you go back to your awesome summit. But like I was saying before, you're an angel for putting this on. So many people need this kind of information right now. So I'm trying to speak for everybody and thanking you for spending your time to even put this together.
Thank you so much, Gwen. We'll see you again soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, y'all. We are down in the home stretch. Lord only knows my computer was like, girl, you pushed it. 6 hours is a lot, right? So we are here. This is awesome. I'm so excited. I'm going to look at the chat super quick. But what I would love is you can drop some ahas, because I want to come back to Gwen's comment that there's value in that for us. And we have 8 minutes to go, right? So I just want to know, is there some implemented from either Gwen's segment or any of these events? Had so many incredible workshops. I'm sorry, my mind is in my mouth. Mine is we had a lot of workshops, we had a lot of programs, but is there anything that stuck out for any of you? I'm freezing again. Adrian said I'm freezing on this. I see it. We almost made it to the whole thing. There it is. We're back. Okay, so I think you guys will be able to start hearing me again. Yeah, you will. It's getting ready to come catch up. Thank you, Adrian, for letting me know. Yes, I saw your message before. Okay, so email every day. I know it, but I haven't been doing it. I mean, that's intense, right? Nugget from Stacy Highland. Spend more time marketing to your perfect customer, the 20%. Thank you, Shanika. And I hope I pronounced that properly. And who else? Any other ahas? I think one of my favorite, and I think this speaks to my personality, is with regard to Adrian and Michael. And there is no competition, right? Iron sharpens iron. Even when it might go in a different direction, you can still make each other level up. Kia said, my takeaway, start where you are, even if you only have a few clients, right? Jessica, valuable connections made. I love it. Hey, did anybody do any interactions? Did anybody do any one-to-one networking today? Did any of you do any? Because I went in there, I looked, and nobody jumped in when I was in there. I was like, I'm in here all by myself. Did anybody do any one-on-one networking? And how about our amazing DJ Shelly Rockstar? Feel free to bless her Cash App. Okay, yeah, her Cash App is Shelly Rockstar. So if you want to bless her for taking her time, she is an entrepreneur who does events in person. Yeah, so Stacy tried to network as well. No one else pressed ready. I tried, but no one was there. So I guess we were all there at different times. We tried to make it so that people would be sort of in there around the same time. So that's something to learn. Because look how many of us were actually trying to network and didn't. So that lets us know we were at different times. Okay, so how else can we help you? You know, you guys showed up in this way. We're going to be sending out a survey after this to let you tell us how this was, but also how can we continue to help you? And one of the things, this is the last thing I'm going to say with regard to Gwen's segment, is that her Cash App is Cash Shelly Rockstar. I'm sending it again. I'm dropping it in the chat again. Shelly Rockstar. Yes. No one came to your booth either, Jessica? Okay. Natasha said she went. I know I went. So I know Stephanie had a booth. Tanya had a booth. We had people who were live, people who were doing a mixture of things. Again, this platform came into being around October, November 2019 and actually picked up because of COVID. I think because we're having more virtual summits and things like that. So we're learning a lot about this. And this is the first time Natasha and I learned how to use this app in this platform in the last 5-6 days. So we appreciate all of your patience through all of the glitches and things like that. You got a couple of visits earlier in the day, Stephanie. Donna Marie said she went to a couple of booths, but no one was in. Also tried networking piece, but the people on the other end were frozen. Okay, this is good to know. Thank you all so much. So is it okay with you if I tell you a little bit about what else we're working on? Is that cool? Anybody want to say yes, that's okay? Let me know. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you, Tanya. Pretty cool. Is it okay for me to share what we got next? Let's go. It's 5:57. What a day. What a day. What a day. So, yes, thank you. Thank you, Gabrielle. My daughter's middle name is Gabrielle. She's Jasmine Gabrielle Donna Marie. Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. This t-shirt here I had made 5 years ago. It says unapologetically unemployable. And what that meant to me then was that I felt too big for what felt like a very traditional way of having a corporate life. And so beginning in 2012, 2014, 2015, hey Val, working with women entrepreneurs through the Her Power Hustle podcast, which turned into the Her Power Sister Power Hustlers Facebook community, where we had almost 2,000 women at our height, which then turned into the Her Power Moves community, where we meet in person and online to connect, collaborate, and create cash flow unapologetically. And in 2018, we solidified that movement of Her Power Moves for women who are entrepreneurs, want to be entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, side hustlers. So we believe that we had the answers to what we needed within our community. We just didn't know how to necessarily find each other and connect. And so I say that as way of telling you that this is what we've been doing all along. And now that we've hit this point where some of us have lost a lot of income, where some of us are scared and don't know what may be happening next in our lives, we wanted to ensure that our brothers too came along with us and no small business was left behind. And this is a movement, y'all. It was a summit today, but I do believe that there were some divine connections that were made today. There was information that I pray is going to help you go to the next level. And I think that we're just scratching the surface of what we can begin to do to ensure that we each get the information we need and know that the others exist so that we can purchase from one another, share one another's information, tell one another about each other if we don't already know each other. And one of the ways that I truly believe at my core is doing that is a mixture of online and offline communication in a way that we feel comfortable and safe and that we know we're getting really ethical people in front of us who share value. And so I've created the Unchamber community. And that came out of my concept of being sick and tired of Chamber of Commerce meetings and networking events. I don't know how many of you have been to networking events where everybody just seems like they're handing out their cards like they're playing spades, right? And to say, word, that is very true, Gabrielle. I'm gonna come back to that. And they're handing out their business cards, and it's as if, you know, they're just trying to sell us or sell the other person versus making a connection. And so we launched the Unchamber as an answer to both in-person Chamber of Commerce and other networking business groups and lead gen groups and things like that, and the Facebook platform of being able to post and create your own groups within the platform. And so some of you may have seen, I have a very colorful hashtag about Mark Zuckerberg. I'll just drop it in the chat. It starts with up and rhymes with Zuck, right? And so our point is we are leaving Facebook as business owners. We are tired of building someone else's wealth for free and then not having access to the communities that we build. And so I invite you all to please join us over at the Unchamber. It's the unchamber.herpowermoves.com, and that'll take you right into it. We unnetwork, which is the opposite of networking, right? Traditional networking. We make connections. We don't just sell. So, oh, thank you, Donna Marie Johnson. This experience has been one of the best networking experiences I've ever had by an online forum. You just made me so happy. Thank you. Donna Marie was in here all day. Natasha was like, you got to do something for Donna Marie. Girl, Donna Marie, you got to send me your email address because I want to make sure we have you because I got to talk to you. Thank you so much, all of you. If there is anything that I can do ever to help you, my email address is this is me. This is not the spam one. This is me. And this is my phone number, right? And feel free. Yeah, why not? It's my phone number. So feel free to reach out to me and let's connect because I do believe it. I do believe it. And we saw people who are not ethical self-select out of our community. People with bad energy self-select out of our community. I'm not worried. Tasha, like, you giving them your phone number? Yeah, man. It's okay. I trust you. Thank you, Donna Marie. I appreciate it. She gave me hers too. Okay, so we are at 6:02. Thank you for your time today. Thank you so much for being here. I have to thank DJ Shelly Rockstar. I have to thank Natasha Wright of the Diamond Butterfly. We are going to do see the Diamond Butterfly. Please follow her because she is an incredible event coordinator who herself is pivoting to do. This is our first virtual summit. This is her first virtual summit, right? So she is at the Diamond Butterfly, and you can go to thediamondbutterfly.com, please, because we are thinking about how can we ensure that no small business is left behind. I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. That no small business is left behind. And don't forget to use this link that Adrienne just dropped, bit.ly/no small business left behind summit. Kia, thank you so much. We thank you all so much for being here. We ain't done yet. You got to tell us what you think when you get the survey, okay? Because we have more value and we want to help you. We want to be here for you. So we will see you. We're going to do a post mortem on this whole experience and what it was like doing our first ever virtual summit and using this platform, you know? So let's all go out there and make some money. It's okay. Let's make some money. I appreciate you all. Thank you, Gabrielle. Appreciate you. I'll see you all the next time. She's playing some music because somebody. I appreciate all of you. Natasha, this is what she does when it comes to doing events. She's like, you need music to end on. So thank you to Gwen. Thank you to all of our workshop presenters. Adrienne's list. Use it. What song is that? I don't know what she's playing. Bye, y'all. Thank you. We'll see you again soon. Huh? What are you doing?